Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The Eight-World King here to talk to you about a little theory I've been cooking up about Dragon Age the Veilguard. As you know, its release date is rapidly approaching, releasing on Halloween, which, funny enough, is when the Veil is at its weakest in Thetis. Now, the theory I'll be talking about will be about Solis and Rook's supposed connection and relationship throughout the game, and how I believe the endgame will be. Soulless, fen'harel, Elven Caillou. These are the most prominent names given to our alopecia-stricken elven god, one from his mortal life, one for when he ascended to godhood, and another because I just call it like it is. Now, here's what we know about Solis and Rook's current situation. Rook and Solis are now bound together due to Rook stopping the ritual Solis was performing to stop the elven gods from escaping. Now, I want you all to know that I have completely given up on saying their names properly, so for the rest of the video the elven gods will be referred to as such. Madame Von Rule 34 and Elven Teeny Weeny. Also for their pet blight dragons, their names shall be Crimson Cunt and Blue Bitch. Now, let's start with the origins of the Evanuris gods. The Evanuris were not gods at the start, but extremely powerful elven mages who elevated to the status of gods from their reputation, magic power, and worship from their followers. Some of these gods include Solis, Mythal, Madame Von Rule 34, and Elven Teeny Weeny. Now Solis saw how Madame Von Rule 34 and Elven Teeny Weeny was leading the elven people down a dark road that included slavery, as well as subjugating the rest of the world and the other races to the point of destroying it, even killing Mythal in the process of their delusions of grandeur. That is when Solis stepped in and tried to prevent their evil ways from succeeding, and prevent the old elves from going down the path of ruin. His feats and power earned him the title fen'harel, the Dread Wolf. His most famous feat was creating the Veil, sealing the two blighted gods and the Fade along with them, separating the Fade from Thetis and destroyed the old elven world. And not only did the elves lose their world, but they also lost their immortality and use of their ancient and powerful relics that they made. Now Solis wants to undo his creation of the Fade and restore his people and their world, at the cost of the current world of Thetis as a whole, which then led to the beginning events of Veilguard. As I mentioned earlier, Solis and Rook are now bound to each other through the Fade via Rook's dreams. The devs stated as we progress through the game, Rook will begin to form a relationship with Solis, whether friendly or not. During conversations with Rook, not only will Solis impart his vast knowledge to us, but will mention that Rook reminds him so much of himself from the past. I feel like this would be more accurate with a Grey Warden or Shadow Dragon Rook. For example, here's Varric's description of Rook.
Rook, you've got this. I've seen your work. You're clever, adaptable, and you don't know when to quit.
Now, the qualities our favorite dwarf told us about Rook can easily be associated with Solis as well, especially his past self. It is also of note that Rook is in the same position as Solis, gathering allies and facing down the two blighted elven gods. Now, let's start with how Rook can become the new Dreadwolf, especially for a non-mage Rook. As I've already stated, the Evanuris weren't gods at the start, but mortals who transcended to godhood. So who's to say that others can't follow this path as well? Let me start by pointing out a very obvious plot item Rook uses in the game. Soulless Lyrium Dagger, also called the Ritual Dagger. Now, this dagger was being used by Solis at the beginning of the game. It is obviously the anchor of the link between Rook and Solis. However, from recent gameplay footage from the class's breakdown, we can see a rogue Rook shoot lightning from his swords. This is obviously from the Lyrium Dagger Rook now wields, but I doubt it's just from the Lyrium. I believe through the dagger, Rook can tap into Solis' magic. There could be a passive drain effect over time, or from each time Rook uses it, slowly but surely transferring Solus's magic to Rook. And this could also be an in-canon explanation to why Rook can change his classes in-game later. Now, let's talk about why Solus would allow his power and title to pass to another. As of now, we don't know if Solus can escape the Fade prison he's in without aid from outside, or, specifically, non-Evanurus aid at that. And I highly doubt the only two Evanurus, who he sealed away mind you, want to see his bald-headed ass anytime soon. So, he would have to find a more creative way to help Rook deal with them while stuck in the Fade. One obvious way is to tell Rook all he knows about them, their personalities, strengths and weaknesses for example, as well as ancient elven technology he can find that would be useful in the battle to come. And another interesting way is for Solus to willingly pass his power onto Rook. After spending time and facing off against Solus, I'm pretty sure Madame von Rule 34 and Elven Teeny Weeny knows exactly how Solus thinks and knows his capabilities. Passing on his power to Rook not only gives Rook a heavy advantage against the two Evanurus with powers from a god, but makes the two fight a new Dreadwolf with different tactics than Solus. Another reason why he would pass his powers to his successor is because of the recent incidents and choices he made. As we know from the moment Solus awakened from his deep slumber, he began planning to regain his power and restore the old elven world. First, he gave his orb to Corypheus, one of the Devinter mages who caused the blights and creation of darkspawns. He's also the same man who looks like his mother tried to do a late-term abortion on him while birthing him. Solus gave Corypheus the orb to charge it up and die when the energy was released, which caused the explosion at the Conclave. But things didn't go exactly as planned, leading to the events in Dragon Age Inquisition. While working with the Inquisition, Solus began to see the value in the other races, finally seeing them as the people they are, and went as far as to befriend the Inquisitor. Thus, a basic Monday morning task of destroying the Veil was turned into a heavy-hearted decision for Solus. To Solus, the choices he made has done some good, but a lot more bad, and the accidental release of Madame von Rule 34 and Elven Teeny Weeny is proof of this. While he sits in the Fade, he'll have time to reflect, such as his choices and the fact that if his ritual wasn't interrupted, he would have went on to destroy the world of Thedas to restore his people's world. And he would have to ask himself while in the Fade, when the two gods are dealt with, would I be able to pick right back up and destroy them? Destroy them after they worked so hard to undo my mistake? If Mythal was here, how would she gaze upon me if I do this? Upon realizing what he was planning and going to do, he would see himself unfit to wield the power and mantle of the Dreadwolf. Choosing a successor would be the most obvious course of action. And why should it be anyone but Rook, the one soul who was bound to him, and led others against these wrathful gods of old, as Solus did long ago? And after relinquishing his mantle, Solus would find a better way to restore his world without destroying Thedas. Also, I'd like to talk about how becoming the Dreadwolf could affect gameplay. It could be like the mark or anchor the Inquisitor uses in the previous game, giving each class a branch specifically tied to the power. Maybe some ancient forgotten magic, such as the petrification magic Solus used on the Qunari during the events of the Trespasser DLC, or a transformation state into a wolfman/werewolf creature, able to use all sorts of primal elemental magic and slashes. And it could even just be a one-time special segmented moment where we transform and face off against one or both of the Evanurus with entirely different controls for that one moment. Alright guys, I believe that wraps it up for my little theory video. So what do you guys think? Any comments, concerns, what I need to improve on? Anything that helps prove my theory or unprove my theory, I guess? Well, it is my first theory video and I'm really excited for this game. So I would very much love to engage y'all in dialogue. Also, I like to say I am also making a Let's Play when it comes out. So yeah, if you're interested in that, or if you like this video, just like it, subscribe, I would really love it. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter and Discord, links in my description. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna stop it right here. Quit wasting your time. Alright guys, until next time I open the doors to my kingdom, enjoy your existence.